Welcome to NFP week, first week of March. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity this week we have. This is a complete multi-time frame analysis for this upcoming week. As past week, we have seen a monthly and weekly close. Market was pretty volatile, as you can see, DXY and many other instruments trending nicely. XAU USD almost behave as expected in our previous weekly analysis as well. So now let's see, as this week is NFP week, we can expect significant movement in the market. So let's look at one by one to see what kind of trading opportunity we have this week. Guys, make sure that you stick till the end of this weekly Forex forecast to see how we can trade in this volatile upcoming week with NFP. Now, before I begin this weekly Forex forecast, traders, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So with that being said, let's begin first of all with DXY. Welcome to NFP week, first week of March. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity this week we have. This is a complete multi-time frame analysis for this upcoming week. As past week, we have seen a monthly and weekly close. Market was pretty volatile, as you can see, DXY and many other instruments trending nicely. XAU USD almost behave as expected in our previous weekly analysis as well. So now let's see, as this week is NFP week, we can expect significant movement in the market. So let's look at one by one to see what kind of trading opportunity we have this week. Guys, make sure that you stick till the end of this weekly Forex forecast to see how we can trade in this volatile upcoming week with NFP. Now, before I begin this weekly Forex forecast, traders, make sure that you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So with that being said, let's begin first of all with DXY. Okay, data. So let's begin with first of all DXY, as this instrument may give us significant trading opportunity in this week, as DXY might give us a good indication of most of the USD pairs, including gold. So looking at DXY, first of all, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now this monthly candle closed and we can see that it has closed a rejection on both sides. We have seen that rejection at the top and also rejection from the support level as well, long wick at the bottom. Now overall picture in this monthly picture, we can see that there is a strong impulse here followed by this pullback. Now with that pullback, we can see that DXY has got a strong rejection from the support level, and as it is an impulse followed by this pullback, expecting DXY to have another potential upside, at least for short-term perspective, as you can see that it is still maintaining a bullish market structure. So with the monthly close, as there is a rejection from the support level, and this may continue to rise to the upside, and I think that at least we can expect for the market to retest this high liquidity zone, as this is the monthly close and opening, which is a very important liquidity zone. Now looking at the weekly perspective in this instrument, we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly impulse here from this level. This is a massive drop from the weekly, followed by this is the weekly bullish engulfer here. And with that bullish engulfer from the weekly, we can see that there is a bounce, and with that bounce, as the market maintaining a trend line here from this support level, the price is carrying stronger rejection. We can expect for this market from the weekly perspective for the price to retest and then potentially to bounce back up, as long-term trend is up, and as you can see, it is still maintaining a bullish market structure. And I think that as DXY from the weekly has made this bullish price action, we could see potentially in the beginning of the week potential upside here, and we may see later deeper pullback in this market. So we still can expect a bullish momentum, as this is the monthly resistance that we are expecting for the market to go ahead and retest. We can expect for the price to go ahead and then drop down again for deeper pullback. Now, if we look at the daily chart on DXY, we can see that from this daily perspective, this is the daily move here, a pretty strong move on the daily, back-to-back 3 days of bullish price action. And what we can expect in this market for the price to come back here for a deeper pullback and then to revive again to the upside, and that might lead that price back to the resistance, to this liquidity zone, and then to drop again to the support level to create a new lower low. Now, looking at the 4-hour perspective on DXY, we can see that this is the lower time frame price action. Here is a gap open in this instrument, which is we saw that there was a change of trend from this downtrend to a local uptrend, which is in fact still maintaining a bullish market structure, with the market open expecting DXY to drop down for a deeper pullback. And I think that the price may continue to rise, and this could be the wave for the upcoming week on DXY. Initially bounce to the resistance line and then to drop down for deeper pullback. Now, based on that, we can look at now USD pairs to see what kind of trading opportunity you might find, starting with euro dollar. Now, euro dollar, as you can see, was pretty volatile past week. We have seen that breakdown and it was trending. Last week was pretty impressive. Now, let's look at the monthly chart to see how the market might be doing now. As you can see, this is the monthly price action on euro dollar, and in that monthly price action, the price has just got a strong rejection from the top and still maintaining series of lower high on the monthly. As the market has got a rejection from the top, we could see potential further continuation towards the downside on euro dollar, and what I think that the price may retest this support before moving back up again to create a new higher high. Now, if we look at the weekly perspective on euro dollar, we can see that from the weekly perspective, the market has engulfed this doji completely on both sides, and with that engulfing from the weekly perspective on euro dollar, the price retested, has closed as a long bearish engulfer. From the weekly perspective, we might see that initial pullback and then continuation towards the downside to create a new lower low. Now, if we look at the daily chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily narrow red candle here, and with that red candle on the daily euro dollar, we can expect for the market to potentially bounce, retest, and then continue to trend towards the downside to create a new lower low. So looking at the 4-hour perspective on euro dollar, we can see that this is the 4-hour time frame. There is a doji here, a long rejection from the doji, and the market currently is sideways, expecting for the market to break down, pull back, and the market to trend in that direction to create a new lower low. So this is where what I think that euro dollar may drop down to that liquidity zone, as this is an important level of support here, expecting euro dollar to potentially bounce, grab liquidity, and then to drop down again to create a new lower low. So this could be the wave for euro dollar for the upcoming week. So we could see that potential bearish price action in the beginning of the week for this potential drop, and from that zone we can expect for the price to potentially bounce again to retest this neckline, which we can expect a mirror of DXY. Now let's look at AUD USD. Let's see what kind of opportunity we have. Now you can see that this instrument looks also strongly bearish. Now looking at the monthly chart again to see overall picture. Now AUD USD, we can see that this is the monthly candlestick pattern, which has got a very strong rejection from the top. It has crossed this previous monthly doji's high, and then the price has crossed that high, grabbed the liquidity, and it's got a very strong rejection from the top on AUD USD. And with that rejection, expecting for this market after this initial pullback to continue to drop again to create a new lower low. Now if we look at the weekly perspective, we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly bearish engulfer here, and with that weekly bearish engulfer, expecting for the market to bounce for a pullback and then to drop down again. And I think that we might see, as you can see, this is a long bearish engulfer after multiple liquidity grab, giving a very high momentum for this market to drop again towards the downside from the weekly perspective. Now looking at the daily chart on AUD USD, we can expect from this resistance line, there's a big drop here, and with the drop, expecting for the market to pull back and then to continue to trend in the direction to create a new lower low. So looking at the 4-hour perspective to see how the market is doing, we can see that this is a very established downtrending market structure here on AUD USD, expecting for this market to pull back and then to potentially trend towards the downside to create a new lower low. So this could be the wave for the upcoming week on AUD USD, expecting a deeper pullback or getting a strong liquidity candle formation here and then to drop down again to the long-term support level on AUD USD. Now let's look at British Pound US Dollar. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now looking at the monthly chart on GBP USD, we can see that from the monthly, from this resistance level, there is a big drop here followed by this pullback. Now with that pullback on GBP USD, as the market has crossed this high, we can see a strong rejection here, expecting for the market to potentially drop here to the support level to create a new lower low. So there could be potential downward pressure on British Pound US Dollar. So this is an important level of support. Let's see from the weekly perspective how the market is doing. Now looking at the weekly price action here on British Pound US Dollar, we can see that there is a bearish engulfer here with this long wick pin bar which has engulfed the previous green candle completely, and we can see there is a liquidity here as well, expecting GBP USD after initial pullback to remain bearish as like Euro dollar and AUD USD as well. GBP USD showing significant rejection from the top. Now looking at daily, we can see that from the daily perspective, we saw there was a local uptrend here, a bounce pullback, another bounce pullback. The market basically was moving up with a lower momentum here, and as you can see from the daily perspective here, after this daily bearish engulfer, there is a daily another red candle, expecting for this market to bounce back up, grab the liquidity, and then potentially drop here to create a new lower low. So looking at the 4-hour perspective on GBP USD, we can see that this market is trending here from this resistance line. There's a big drop here, pullback, and we can see the price is forming series of lower high and lower low. So any pullback towards the upside on GBP USD, expecting for this market again to drop down to that support level to create a new lower low. So this is the zone that we can look for potential entry opportunity as soon as we will find suitable price action confirmation in this instrument. Now let's look at dollar CAD. As we can see, the DXY showing significant bullish momentum, dollar CAD as well showing significant bullish price action at the moment. Let's look at to see bigger picture to see how the market might behave in this upcoming week. Now this is the monthly price action on dollar CAD, and from this support level we can see that there is a bounce followed by this pullback, and with that pullback we can see the price from this long week rejection, expecting dollar CAD to potentially bounce again to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the weekly perspective on dollar CAD, we can see that from the weekly, this is the bull market starting from here, a massive bounce followed by this pullback, and another bounce followed by deeper pullback to this weekly 20 EMA. Now this weekly price action, as you can see, it's a stronger bullish confirmation. The market crossed the 20 EMA and then has closed as a strong bullish engulfer on dollar CAD, expecting for this price to drop down for a pullback, and then what I think that may continue to rise to create a new higher high. Now dropping down to the daily chart on dollar CAD, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily impulse here, and with that impulse expecting for the market to drop down for a pullback to the support level and then to continue to rise to create a new higher high. Looking at the 4-hour perspective on dollar CAD, we can see that in this lower time frame, the market is trending from here, an impulse correction. So the market maintaining a typical bullish market structure, expecting for the price to drop down here for a deeper pullback, and with that pullback expecting for the market to break from the structure and then to continue to rise. This could be the wave for the upcoming week on dollar CAD. As soon as we will find suitable price action confirmation, we will be looking for buying opportunity in this market. Now let's look at XAU USD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now as you can see, past week as expected, XAU USD almost behave in the same way that we expected. Now what we can look at, as this is the monthly close, we can expect XAU USD to move again let's first of all see from the monthly what kind of trading opportunity you might have, what kind of movement we can expect in this instrument. Now, this is the monthly price action on XAU USD. From this support level, there is a bounce here followed by this pullback, and you can see another bounce, deeper pullback. Now, the market currently is in another impulsive phase. Now, as this is the monthly close, we can see that there is a significant drop from the monthly resistance line, but at the same time we can see this market is still maintaining bullish market structure. Now, there are two probable scenarios at the moment. We can expect for the market to continue to drop. In that case, we might see that break of structure, or we could see the trend continuation again to the long-term picture. So as this is the monthly candle, let's look at the weekly perspective as first week of trading coming up, NFP week. So let's see what kind of movement we can expect. Now, if we look at the weekly chart, here we can find a very important price action confirmation here. Before we look at that, first let's look at the historical perspective on XAU USD. We can see there is an inverted head and shoulder, a breakout pullback, and we can see the market basically trending, creating series of higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrending market structure. Now, with that inverted head and shoulder, we can see the market from this previous resistance, which is starting support here, grab the liquidity here, and then form that long wick doji, which in fact has got a very strong rejection here. With that rejection, what we can expect for this market to potentially trend, and here we can see that on XAU USD there is an inverted head and shoulder, and with that inverted head and shoulder, the market managed to break to the upside, and this weekly move is a pure bullish price action here on XAU USD. Now, with that bull move last week, as expected, we have seen that significant rejection from the top. Now, this rejection is, in fact, we can expect it as pullback, as this is a bull market. Such a drop can give us potentially what I think that bullish opportunity in this market. Now, this is the weekly candlestick pattern. This drop from the weekly has crossed almost 2 weeks low. The candle closed below. What I think that now we might see after initial pullback, the market to have another bounce to the upside. So this week, after initial drop again, we can expect upside here from the weekly perspective on XAU USD. Now, let's look at the daily chart to see what kind of trading opportunity we have. Now, looking at the daily, this is the daily support level here, and here is the daily liquidity candle. Guys, if you look at here, you can see that this daily market here, which is in fact a daily impulse correction, another impulse correction. So the market is potentially forming series of higher high and higher low, which is in fact a typical bullish market structure in this instrument. Now, in that daily move, as we have seen the breakup structure, currently the market is below the daily 20 EMA, and at the same time the candle closed just crossing the previous important liquidity zone. As the price moves from liquidity to liquidity, as there is a strong rejection here, what I think that after initial pullback, expecting a bounce now as long-term trend is up. So therefore, this week expecting XAU USD to potentially bounce back up at least certain level here. As we have seen, there is a big drop, liquidity zone. We can expect either a pullback of this daily move, or we can expect potentially resume of the uptrending market structure in this market. So let's look at now lower time frame. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart here, we can see that there was a big drop here, quite a few significant red candles, and every session we saw that there was series of lower high formation. And in that massive drop, where every session the market was forming series of lower high, we can see that previous session, last day of trading week, last session, we saw a green candle formation. Now, this green candle, as the market was maintaining series of lower high, for the first time we saw that the market has managed to bounce. We can expect in this market now again another pullback in this lower time frame, but I think that could be the situation before it bounce back up. That we can see a little lower time frame 1-hour chart, we have seen a potential reversal pattern formation. Now, this bounce from the 1 hour and then followed by this pullback, followed by doji formation, could lead a reversal pattern formation here in this instrument. So this could be the situation on XAU USD, expecting again another pullback that might be coming back to the doji or even breaking that low in any of this zone. So as soon as market open, we will be looking to see potential entry opportunity for this potential bullish move to the upside. And if you enjoyed this weekly Forex forecast, guys, make sure that you give a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Keep eye for more update for the upcoming week in this instrument. Now let's look at dollar yen and GBP JPY. Now let's look at, first of all, dollar yen. Now dollar yen, as we can see that XAU USD is potentially bullish. We can expect bullish move on dollar yen. As you're looking at the monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly perspective, this is the monthly price action. And in that monthly move on dollar yen, as expected, this is the monthly close. The market has dropped below this previous important monthly support level and has got a rejection here. Now with that rejection, expecting for the market after an initial pullback to bounce back up to create a new higher high. Now if we look at the weekly perspective on dollar yen, we can see that from the weekly, this is the weekly bullish impulse here on dollar yen. And with that weekly bullish impulse, this is an important level of support here on dollar yen. And with that support, expecting for this market to retest and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. And if we look at the daily chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the daily perspective here, this is the daily price action. There is a daily bullish engulfer here on dollar yen. And what we can expect, there is a doji followed by a daily bullish candle. And we can expect for the market to come down for a pullback and then to continue to rise to create a new higher high. So looking at the 4-hour perspective on dollar yen, we can see that there is a significant reversal pattern formation here. There was a strong sideways movement followed by strong breakout and then pullback. And we can see the market potentially trending again to create a new higher high. So this is where on dollar yen, as soon as we will find suitable entry for this potential move to the upside, we will be looking for going long with a high probability trade setup. Now let's look at GBP JPY. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have in this instrument, looking at the monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now from the monthly, we can see that GBP JPY, after this monthly candle formation, there is a gap open, and with that gap open from the monthly, we saw that there is a monthly red doji formation, expecting for this market to potentially drop, pull back. And I think that as we can see that there is a rejection from this monthly support, we could see potentially upside here this month on GJ. If we look at the weekly perspective, we can see there is a weekly narrow doji formation here on GBP JPY. Now with that weekly narrow doji formation, expecting for the market to retest and then to bounce back up to create a new higher high. So if we look at the daily chart on GJ, we can see that from the daily perspective, this is the daily doji formation. And in the daily doji, quite a few days narrow doji formation in that area, expecting for this market to drop for a pullback and then to continue to rise to create a new higher high. So looking at the 4-hour perspective on GBP JPY, we can see that there was a complete sideways movement in this market on GJ. What we can expect for the market to retest and then to potentially trend to the upside to create a new higher high. So if we look at the GBP JPY, this is the zone that we can look for potential entry opportunity as soon as we will find suitable price action confirmation in this market. Traders, I hope that you enjoyed this weekly Forex forecast. If you enjoy, make sure you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. So thank you, and I'll see you soon in my next analysis.